Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special election edition of our Community Access. Now, on August 2nd, you have the opportunity to select who you would like to vote to be in charge to be your next elected officer for Addison Township or the Oxford Township. Now is the primary. The primary. In Oxford Township, 6 candidates are trying to get on the November election for 2 seats. Addison Township, about the same thing. In Oxford Township, Bill Dunn, Curtis Wright, and Joe Farrar have no opposition. In Addison Township, Bruce Pearson, Lori Fisher, and Pauline Bennett have no competition. We have asked all of the candidates to put them on the air for us. Some of them did, and some did not want to be on the air. Our host for this special edition of our Community Access is John Ogen. John?
Welcome to Meet the Candidates. On August 2nd, you'll have the opportunity to select candidates for various township boards. And today, we're pleased to have Jacob Newby from Addison Township with us. Out in Addison, folks are going to have a chance to pick 4 people out of 7 in the primary election coming up on August 2nd. Welcome to the show, Jacob. I'm glad that you were willing to participate in this.
Thank you.
To start off with, let me just ask you, do you have experience in this position?
No, not in this position.
Why do you feel you're qualified to be in this position?
Well, I've been affiliated with many groups, especially the Boy Scouts of America. I was an Eagle Scout. Well, I am an Eagle Scout, and I'm currently an assistant Scoutmaster. I was involved in my robotics team at my high school, Oxford High School.
Right.
And I feel I have the necessary qualifications to do the job right.
Well, just by being involved in all that stuff, I'm sure you know a lot of people out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What concerns you most about what's happening in Addison Township?
Well, I would like to make sure that our businesses have less regulations, because, I mean, some are stifling business and the opportunity to make money.
Would you like to draw more business out there?
Not too many, but I'd like to make sure our businesses that we currently have can succeed.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any specific ideas to make things better out there?
Well, I'd like to inform the public of current issues and things that are happening in their township.
How would you do that?
Well, I have a website, jacobnewby.com. On that website, you'll find a calendar of events, things happening in the community, my stances, and speeches that I've done in the past.
When did you get the notion that you wanted to do this?
Well, I've always been really interested in politics, listening to radio shows, doing things in my community. And so I figured I might as well get involved. So.
Okay, very good. What accomplishment would make you the happiest at the end of your term?
Well, I hope that the people are very happy with what I've done. I'm planning on many accomplishments as I go along, but so I can't really narrow down one. So.
Yeah, do you have a list that you'd like to mention of things that have been bugging you?
Well, just the regulations in our township. I'd like to make sure that the businesses have, the opportunity to succeed, as I've said.
Yeah. Are there any particular businesses that are having a rough time that you'd like to help out?
Well, I've noticed there's a strip mall down Rochester Road that every time a business enters there, they seem to have a hard time. So I'd like to make sure they don't have too many regulations stifling them from having good business.
Okay, very good. Well, we appreciate you being on our program. Thank you very much. Today we are pleased to have Eric Symph with us from Addison Township. He's running for a trustee on the Addison Board of Trustees. And welcome to our program, first of all, Eric. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you, and it's nice to be here.
Good.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Well, we wish you all the luck in the world. I have a few questions that I'm asking all of the candidates, and the first one is, do you have experience in this position before?
Yes, I do. For the last 2 years, I've been serving as trustee for Addison Township. It was appointed to me due to one of the trustees becoming quite ill, and they needed a replacement, and I was nominated and approved by the board. So I've been serving as a trustee for 2 years.
Okay, and you like it so well you want to do it again?
I love it, actually.
Why are you qualified for this position? I think you may have partially answered that already, but go on.
Right. Basically, my background is in engineering at General Motors, almost 40 years, various positions. And during that course, I've had a lot of formal and informal training, teamwork, management, and that sort of thing, which I think prepared me for on-the-job situations and certainly for in retirement. So I want to utilize those.
Okay.
So here I am.
And you're having fun.
I love it.
What concerns you most about what is happening in Addison Township right now?
Well, let me go back to 2007 when I was first introduced to the township as a member of the Police and Fire Board of Addison Township. In that capacity, I got really familiar with one of my main concerns, and that's the health and safety of the residents of Addison Township. And fire and medical and police is as close as you can get to that. So I was very involved from 2007 for almost 7 years, which most of that time I was chairperson. I chaired the team. And during that time, we did a lot of improvements especially on the fire and the medical end of it, equipment-wise, procedures, ambulances, bring them up to ASL high standards, because that goes back to what really I see the community needs is the public safety. And like I always told everybody on my team, if you had a heart attack, which ambulance do you want to pull up? The one with outdated equipment or the latest?
Sure.
So that was always my selling point, and it worked.
Good.
So.
Do you have any specific ideas to make things better in Addison Township?
Yes, I did have, and I think we succeeded in the first thing, and that is to put a new town hall up. It gives a new and better image for the township. I think that was something that was way overdue, and I was part of that over the last 2 years to put that new township hall up. And I think that's an improvement, where people can be proud and see what their headquarters or their township building, represents something.
Obviously, you want to keep things going with the fire department issues and whatnot. But other than those, are there any accomplishments that would make you happiest at the end of your term?
Again, my values for the township is the safety and also keep rural. Okay, I've lived out there almost 30 years. I have a small horse farm, so I like rural, I like quiet, I like peace, I like good zoning. We have a master plan I'm very familiar with. I'm also on the CBA, Zoning Board of Appeals, so I'm very familiar with the zoning. So that's one of the things that I want to keep going to, that I'm very passionate about. Make sure that we keep rural.
Well, thank you for being with us. It's been a pleasure meeting you. August 2nd is primary day. Your vote counts. Today, we're pleased to have Deanna Cushing, who's running for trustee of the Addison Township Board. Thanks for being with us, Deanna. We appreciate that.
Thanks for asking.
We ask our candidates all the same questions, give them the same opportunities. So our first question for you is, do you have any experience in this position?
As for sitting on a township board, no, I don't. But my experience comes from observation and other committees and functions that I've belonged to, that I have sat on the board and ran meetings. I belong to the Order of the Eastern Star, and I went through the offices of those and sat on boards, made voting decisions and decisions for our organization. I also worked for the Charter Township of Oxford as a deputy supervisor. So the law and rules and ordinances, I'm very accustomed to the responsibility of those. There's what they call the Red Book. I know the Red Book and what my role and responsibilities will be as a trustee through the experience of 19 years working for Oxford Township. I would remain staying working with Oxford Township as it's my primary job. But
So what you're
that's
saying is you know the
Oxford.
rules of the game.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You know them from the inside out. That's
For
a good
19
thing.
years from the inside out, and that's where my experience is going to come into, is watching how all these years, how trustees and people have made decisions for their community.
Okay. You may have kind of already answered this, but why are you qualified for this position? Anything you'd like to add to what you have already said?
Qualifications, the fact I'm a taxpayer for the last 20-some years. I live in a community that I love, that I want to give back to, my education, my college education, and my work ethics.
What concerns you most about what is happening in Addison Township?
Addison Township had two people that have chose not to rerun for the seats as trustee. It's a perfect team right now. So there's nothing or huge issues that are happening in our township that I can see at this time. So it's not that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to become a part of the team, step into some fine shoes and be a part of that team and help make decisions overall for our whole community. What those decisions will be, we'll see what comes up. There'll be the budgets and what are being ran completely on time and everything. It's hard to say. I'm one vote, but that vote will be for the people.
Do you have any specific ideas to make things better in Addison?
When it comes budget time, that's where the decisions are going to come from. I've heard a few people speak of the patrol on the waters. Why are people leaving Addison Township and not staying? What are we lacking? In my home, I'm not lacking anything with my family, but the township was brought that maybe it's lacking something. When it comes budget time, that's where the big decisions will be made. What can we provide more to our residents?
What accomplishment would make you happiest at the end of your term?
To be as great as the current board is now, to be a part of that team and continue to speak for the people. It's important when they go to the polls and vote this time is to make sure that that team is a well-balanced team that can work together and represent them, because you have just a handful representing so many taxpayers. And the goal is to always make sure that we have a balance, that we can all stay in our community, keep it rural, keep the historical going, keep the close-knit community together, and keep it personal, the community personal. Home. Keep it home.
Well, thanks for being with us, Deanna. Deanna Cushing. Welcome to Meet the Candidates. On August 2nd, you'll have the opportunity to select candidates for the various township boards of trustees. And today we're pleased to have Jack Curtis, who's running for the Oxford Board of Trustees. And welcome, Jack. We're tickled to death to have you on.
Thanks, John.
And I know that a lot of us have known you for quite a while, but not everybody viewing this has. So I'm going to ask you some of the very basic questions I ask everyone.
Sure.
Do you have experience in this position?
Well, John, I was elected in 2012 for Township Trustee. I've been working diligently on many of our committees in the trustees position. I work on the Water and Sewer Committee. I work on the Safety Path Committee. I'm on the Gravel Inspection Committee. To say if I have experience, 4 years under my belt, it probably took me the first year to learn it, and then the next 3 to truly execute it in a value-added position for the township. I've also been a township planning commissioner for approximately 12 years, which led me into understanding of all the requirements for development in our community.
I guess in a way you've already answered this, but my next question is, why are you qualified for this position?
Well, I'm qualified, I believe, because it's called Learning Under Fire. We've gone through several areas to try to ensure our township residences are getting the biggest bang for their buck, if you will, but also fiscal responsibility. We've sold some township properties and gotten them on the tax roll. I've helped remove some barriers for some of our developers when they ran into them with MDOT or another government facility. We've worked in Lansing with our representatives to remove these roadblocks where we could for our community.
What concerns you most about what is happening in our township?
Well, Oxford has a lot of jewels in our community, our village, our parks, our fire department, our police protection. We have a lot of these things, but are we truly ready for the influx of people that really want to be here? We need to make sure and ensure that we have our open spaces. We need to make and ensure that we have proper residential zoning for the demographics of the people that are coming into our community. And secondly, where I've worked hardest on the Economic Development Committee is ensure the services are brought to our community. When we identify a need, we go out and contact some of the service providers that have. For example, we don't have a lumber yard in Oxford. You can go to an off lot and buy some wood if they have it, but we don't have a structured lumber yard. Fortunately, with closing of Tom's Hardware and the addition of the Ace Hardware, we will have a hardware store, but we do not have a full-time cleaners in our town. We do not have a hotel. These are services that are required in this community, and it provides jobs for our students.
In a way, you've answered part of this already, I think, but do you have any specific ideas to make things better here?
Oh, I want to continue to bring the right services to the community because I myself have 4 children. They worked in restaurants, they worked as table bussers, but we have no careers for them here. We also have to meet the needs of these children that are coming out of our high school that may not want to go to college. We need to look for things like vocational schools to come to Oxford and increase our education in a different direction than college.
Mm-hmm. What accomplishment would make you happiest at the end of your next term?
Well, that's a big one. I just want to make sure that homeowners are paying the appropriate amount of taxes on their property for the operating expenses. I want to make sure that our township is still utilizing the fiscal responsibility that we have had for the past several years. It brought us through one of the worst recessions I've seen, and we were able to keep our heads above water. So I want to accomplish is I want to make sure that the tax burden isn't solely borne by the homeowner, the resident. We need businesses here that provide jobs. We need businesses here to support our tax base.
I know how pro-business you are, and I know that you want to achieve just the right balance of business along with everything else in our township. Do you have a couple of types of business? So you mentioned lumberyard, but do you have any other types of businesses in mind that you just love to see join us out here?
Sure. We have a great equestrian opportunity in our northeast quadrant where we have individuals who are bringing very expensive horse shows and dressage, and they have nowhere to stay in Oxford. A hotel, it provides people the option.
Well, thank you for being with us. It's been a pleasure meeting you. August 2nd is primary day. Your vote counts. Today we are pleased to have Melvin Buck Kreiderman with us, and you are running for the Oxford Township Board of Trustees.
Yes, I am.
Okay, very good. Well, we're pleased to have you with us, Buck. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleased to be here.
First question, and by the way, folks, we are asking each candidate the very same questions just to be fair, and we realize that a lot of us know some of the candidates better than others, but some of you don't. So starting with question number 1, do you have experience in this position?
Yes, I do. I'll be running for my 3rd term, which will be at the November main election. I will have 8 years in. And I have a wonderful working relationship with the board. We get along well. We we've worked well to keeping our taxes down, and it's just been a wonderful relationship.
Any special reason you feel that you're qualified for this position?
Just the fact that I'm as old as I am, and I've been around and I've seen a lot, and I have been a supervisor in the Orion plant for a few years, so I did have a lot of training, planning jobs, and doing things, and looking forward into the future and try to make things come out as you intended them to be.
How long have you lived in Oxford?
I've lived in Oxford for 30 years.
That's what I figured. What concerns you most about what is happening in your township?
The thing that concerns me the most is we've got a lot of vacant land that's going to be coming up for development soon, and it's a lot of 5-10 acre parcels. And what happens is developers come in with a lot of money and a lot of ideas, and they want to increase the density, as many as they can talk the township board or the planning commission into. And I don't think that's right. We do have a zoning board, and we do have a master plan that says, yes, this is what we want our township to look like. And I say, let's live within that and make it look like that. And I think the opportunity is, if somebody isn't in there fighting for us, it'll be much denser than I think a lot of other people look. Oxford Township is a really rural kind of a community, and I'd like to keep it that way as much as we can.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any specific ideas to make things better here?
Well, one issue would be safety paths. We do have a rather good network of safety paths, but a lot of them aren't connected. We need to do a lot of work on connecting them, and keeping in mind that the more that we build, we got to put aside money to maintain them, because we in the township have learned that could be a big issue, just maintaining what we got.
Okay. What accomplishment would make you happiest at the end of your term?
I guess my biggest accomplishment would be to keep taxes low, or keep taxes where they're at now. Keep the density within our master plan, if at all possible, at least close to it as we can possible, and finish up our safety path system.
Well, thank you for being with us. We appreciate that. Good
Well,
luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet. August 2nd is primary voting day, and your vote counts. On August 2nd, you'll have the opportunity to select candidates for the various township boards, and one of those is the Oxford Board of Trustees. And we have one of those candidates with us today, Mr. Elgin Nichols. Welcome, Elgin. Good to see you.
Thank you, John. Good to see you too.
We're going to ask you the same questions we've asked everybody else, just to keep everything fair. And the first one is, do you have experience in this position before?
I think I have a vast amount of experience, John. It goes back to where my previous life was before I came into Oxford about 5 years ago. But I served on several boards up in the Kilcullen area, which is part of Bay County. Here, I have served on the Village Council. I have served on the Zoning Board of Appeals, which I currently am involved in also with the village, and the Planning Commission.
Well, this might dovetail into that, but why are you qualified for this position?
Well, for one thing, I believe that I got a vast knowledge of how procedure works, with small government and somewhat with larger government. When I was on the Home Builders Association in Saginaw, on the board of directors in Bay County, we worked with the Uniform Codes of Michigan. So I'm pretty familiar with the codes and ordinances required, for the community.
What concerns you most about what is happening in your township?
One thing that concerns me, and there's several things, but one is, of course, the expansion of business within the area, and I think that there needs to be deliberate, direct planning and direction for the traffic situation, if nothing else. But I think it's good, to have expansion. It's good to have the economic stabilization that comes into your community when new business moves in. But I think that needs to be carefully considered, because it does impact, when the township makes decisions, it impacts the village as well. As you know, we've got a great downtown. We really don't want to destroy that in any way.
Do you have any specific ideas on how to make things better?
I do. I think one thing that we need to do is to bring both what they consider the village and the township together as a we people instead of they people. I got that feeling when I first came into this area that there was some adversarial separation between the two groups, and we have to understand that we are all township people. And what happens in the township certainly affects we who are in the township as well, villagers, which I do live in the village, traumatically.
What accomplishment would make you happiest at the end of your term?
I think what would make me happiest is the two governments coming together and sharing what they do best within their government entity. For example, there's certain procedures that are handled within the township that I think are much more defined and well done in comparison to what the village does. However, the village also has some areas that they excel in as well. And I'd like to see that merger of those ideas, which would save us money over the long run and make it more efficient.
Okay, Elgin Nichols, candidate for the Oxford Township Board of Trustees. Good luck, Elgin.
Thank you, John.
And thanks for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
Just a reminder again, August 2nd is primary voting day, and your vote counts.
Well, there you go. The election date is August 2nd. Please do not think the only thing the primary is boring. This is important to all of us to vote, okay? Coming up is a vote for you to help some great dogs from the Canine Rescue League.
Hi, I'm Alex from Canine Stray Rescue, and this is Ellie, your dog of the week. Ellie is an 8-year-old Rhodesian Ridgeback. If you know what that is, it's somewhere between a lab and a boxer. She has all of the markings from the Rhodesian, and they're a very fun and active breed. Like I said, Ellie is 8 years old. Even though she's a little bit older, she still has a lot of energy and a lot of fun and a lot of life left in her. She's definitely looking for someone to spend her golden years with. When she came in with a Great Dane who she loved to play with. The Great Dane has since been adopted, so she's looking for a new friend too. She was great with other dogs, and she's great with people, and she's a big love bug. She has lots of energy, so she would be a great walking partner. And she's very attentive to what's going on. She loves to give kisses and hugs, and she's really looking for someone to give her the love and attention that she needs. If you're looking for a really fun play partner, she's definitely the way to go. So if you could come and meet her, then you'll definitely see how big she is on loving on you. She's got the soft coat. She's a big lap dog, basically. Canine Stray Rescue has events every weekend. So on every Saturday of the month, we are either at Petco or Harvest Time, where we showcase some of our dogs. We get new dogs every week. Ellie has been here for quite a long time, and she's definitely deserving a really good home. So if you could come on and meet Ellie, that would be great.
Well, that's all the time for this week. We hope our special program will select the candidate for Addison and Oxford. So for our host today, John Ogen, and I'm Bill Service, and will you have a great, great day.
Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.